And we are back. Welcome back to the Ales and Fails Twitch stream with your host, Aelwolf. Today, back in Eorzea with our friend of the stream, John. John, say hello. John?
Did that not come through?
No.
Hey, everybody.
What happened there?
I guess it's because I'm pressing push to talk. I don't know, it's some other part of my screen, so maybe it's blocking it out there.
That's totally fine. Before we jump back into Eorzea, let me go ahead and do my spiel here and talk about today's beverage. Today's as in our second beverage of the day. There we go. So today we are enjoying a Brother Thelonious from North Coast. This is a Belgian style Abbey Ale. I would say it is closest to a double, so not a single but a double. One of the very iconic flavors of Belgium. As you can see, it's got a jazz man on the cover. Avid viewers of the stream will know that I do enjoy my crafty logos. This one is dark, it's malty. It's also light, it's got a good flavor on it. Some good complexity, certainly good for an American style Abbey Ale. So, bang an ale, dear viewers. Moving back to the stream. Once it loads up anyways. Yes, so let's pop back into Eorzea and logging in with my Lalafell character. I always think that it's called a falafel, but that is horribly wrong. So John, what have you been up to today?
Not much, just got off of work.
Ah, yes, the labors. The 12 labors of work. What have you, what kind of media have you been consuming recently? TV shows, movies, video games?
Recently I've been mostly more of the same, just kind of the same game that I was playing last time, which is Shin Megami Tensei Strange Journey. I guess I've also, maybe I have mentioned this before, but I've also been reading a book called Warbreaker by Brandon Sanderson.
Oh, I've never heard of this book. What is the premise?
The basic premise is basically this fantasy novel, and it's kind of hard to explain the premise because there's so many different viewpoints, but it's a fantasy novel that revolves around kind of like this society so I guess one of the main viewpoint character, which is supposedly a princess of a distant kind of kingdom. Primarily this kingdom is very, I guess, how do you say, kind of prudish, and I think they additionally kind of highlight this with colors. Basically, this kingdom doesn't have as many colors, like their clothing, their I guess their paintings, their buildings, they don't have much color, and that's mostly a societal thing because they oppose this other kingdom, which is very colorful and vibrant and just has a bunch of color in their culture. And so basically, this other kingdom is smaller, the one that doesn't have color, and so. The main reason why color is a driving force in this world is because there's this magic system in the book that relies on colors, where basically you seep color from things that exist around you, and then you're able to do stuff like animate inanimate objects. You're able to like increase the strength of different materials. So it's pretty interesting, and also the central story around the main characters is also pretty interesting. So yeah, pretty good book.
So, would you call it a fantasy work?
Yeah, it's fantasy.
How did you come about this particular book?
I got it recommended to me by a couple friends.
Nice, nice. So you're enjoying it so far.
Yeah,
Sounds like an
it's pretty good.
interesting story. I wonder if it doesn't follow some of the themes associated with tales of the limitation of expression and self-expression, and maybe art and culture.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm sure there's some of that, but I definitely couldn't go at length about it because it is a pretty hefty book, and like I said, there's a lot of viewpoints, so it's kind of hard to narrow down the story to just the story of one character, really.
Well, I would like to wait for the video essay that I am sure you will be producing in the coming months.
Yeah, my video essay on my YouTube channel, you know where it is. I don't even need to say it.
Everyone knows where it is. We don't need to harp back on such a well known subject. Well, good times. That sounds like a fun hobby. Are you actually reading a physical book? Is this an audio book? Is this something that you do on Kindle? What's your medium of choice?
It's an audiobook, and I use an application called Libby because Libby lets you rent audiobooks from your local library.
So, the rental of books, a lost practice. Oh, wait a second. Why am I being attacked?
Sorry, what was that?
I just walked to the map and this random person started attacking me. I forget when I am playing MMORPGs during the very early levels that if I walk straight up through enemies, they won't necessarily just be passive. I forget that there's some that are just aggressive.
Hmm.
So I did take some time last night, logged in and looked at some of my commands, so maybe I'll be slightly less dysfunctional today. Did a job quest, but I didn't advance the story quest.
It's pretty good. Did you reconfigure or reset up your character in a way that you kind of understand what's happening?
I think I have a slightly better idea of the way in which I should send attacks. Um, but it's nothing elegant, to be perfectly honest with you. I still have to think about the buttons that I have to push. Maybe someday. Maybe. Who is attacking me? What the? How am I being attacked by two different things today? I'm attacked by a rat.
I'll be right back. Let me restart Discord.
Okay. Well, folks, we might have lost John, but we have not lost the will to live in Eorzea. What is... Who is this dude? Ruby. Here we go. Maybe I shouldn't go close to that camp. Where's my target?
Yeah, sorry about that. For some reason, my push to talk button didn't work unless I started Discord as administrator.
You are forgiven. Uh, Level 14. I don't think I'm ready to take this on. What level am I? 13. Or maybe I can. So just doing a job quest here. Apparently recommended level is 14 as far as I understand it. But after this I'll get back to the mainline story. Alright. Carbuncle with assist here. I honestly don't know how you take on multiple targets with a caster class. They all just like kind of walk up to you and then you can't really do anything because if you move, you stop casting.
Yeah, I guess I've never really had that problem because
You're too good.
I've, I'm too good, and I've also played Bard. So Bard is a very mobile class. Don't need to worry about casting times.
That sounds nice. Maybe that's what I should have done.
It's not too late to restart a class.
Of course it is. It's too late. It's too late to apologize. Let's return to the Arcanist Guild. So any delicious meals as of late, John?
None that I can think of off the top of my head. Did you have a meal you wanted to talk about?
I was just racking my brain trying to think if I had had anything tasty recently. But honestly, most of the things that I enjoy are very basic. To be perfectly honest with you, I think the thing that I had the most recently that I thought was delightful was some Japanese curry rice. Nothing fancy about it, just very tame, very moderate, just succulent gravy with rice. The protein was nothing more than a hard-boiled egg. It was just nice to eat that. I don't know.
Nice.
You know, my heart lies with Indian curry, but every once in a while, it's nice to just um, savor Japanese curry.
I guess what would you say is the biggest difference between both of them? I've never really had either.
In my very basic palate, Japanese curry is more about the differing flavors, whereas Indian style curry is certainly about the spice level.
I see.
I now have access to the armory system. Quest to unlock the other classes can be undertaken by speaking to the receptionist. I don't know what that means. It is recommended that you first focus on mastering your current class. Well, that's good. So I guess I finished a quest that suggests that I can get other quests.
Was it telling you that you can, like change to a different class, or what is it that it said?
It's suggesting that there's an NPC that I can talk to change my class.
Oh, yeah. You would just talk to that, I guess the main class NPC, if you wanted to sign up for a different job.
Certainly an interesting course of action at this particular junction. Gear sets now available. Nice, I've got gloves. Alright, on to the next main scenario quests, on to the dry docks. Okay. What's going on in your corner of the world?
Not much. Not, definitely a lot more peaceful than what's happening in Ukraine.
Well, this stream just got political.
Guess it did.
Ah, nice. Speaking of Ukraine, did you end up getting that bundle?
No, I didn't.
How dare you?
sorry.
John, the viewers have placed a responsibility on you. Why must I never be able to get onto these things? So on to other things, did you hear about the lineup for EVO?
I did not.
Are you an EVO viewer, John?
Yeah, I would say so.
I know headlining it is Street Fighter V, of course.
Anything that caught your attention?
I'm not an avid VO viewer. I do like to catch clips here and there. I would say that I thought this was the contest that featured Smash Melee, and I didn't see it in the lineup, so.
I think Nintendo actually announced that they didn't want to do any Smash Brothers at EVO anymore.
Do you actually have to opt in to do that?
Well, you can certainly opt out, and I think they can opt out now for sure because of the fact that EVO is kind of a Sony event now.
Oh, that's true. That changed last year. Is that not the case?
Yeah.
No. Deliver the missive to Atburm at the Morabee Dry Docks. Where do I have to go? Okay, all the way over there. And I am not attuned to there, so I guess I'll have to walk. Slay wharf rats. Let's do that while we are here. They got friends. Nice. Okay, I think I've slain enough wharf rats. So, are you getting ready for that daylight savings time, John?
I guess so. I guess everybody has to.
I guess let me take a step back here. Do you live in a part of the world that experiences daylight savings time? What country do you live in?
I live in the United States.
Ah, I had no idea. Okay, well, yeah, this is the bad daylight savings time. This is the one where you lose 1 hour of sleep. And so with every decision there is loss, and with every loss there is sadness.
It's very poetic.
It is also truth. Do you think
I mean, on
people
the bright side, you leave work early.
it is nice to leave while it is still sunny. There is something to be said about that. But I
I think it's kind
suppose
of a bummer whenever you have to leave later. So I think I actually don't mind this daylight savings change versus the other one that happens during the year.
well, to be perfectly honest with you, there is a time where I do enjoy the darkness as I am leaving or coming into work, and that is specifically during holiday season. It feels a lot cozier that way. But once the
Hmm.
holidays are over, it just becomes depressing. What is this location? Moraby Dry Docks. Ah, and I found a crystal. One more crystal to which I am attuned. So you're an experienced player. How many crystals, giant crystals, not the small ones, are there in the game?
You mean Aetherite?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, there's a lot because there's a lot of settlements. You can count them in on one hand.
Like 37,
I don't think so. Probably more.
38.
You're getting closer.
Alright, let's see, what does this dude have to say? Oh, this guy has a nice haircut. Alright, let's see, what should I get? Some shoes. Nice. Okay, and so the idea. What are quests called in this game? Is it duties?
Yeah, I believe so.
Ah, there we go. Take a road leading west from the Marlby dry docks and speak to Haldo Roba regarding the whereabouts of the Firalsmid. Alright, let's head over there. So, I guess I asked this earlier, but you haven't been watching anything good as of late? Any series, anything like that?
Not recently. I did start watching, what's it called? Taxi Driver yesterday.
Is that like the show Taxi with Tony Danza and Danny DeVito?
No, it's more like Cash Cab with that comedian.
Ricky Gervais?
No, I'm just kidding.
Well,
It's like none of that.
so then what is Taxi Driver?
It's that famous movie that Martin Scorsese directed. The,
What is it about?
man, I suck at synopsis, but it's basically
Please.
just De Niro is a young war veteran who's kind of maladjusted, and he's kind of trying to make his way in New York City, but kind of failing because he kind of sees all of this. He kind of lives in a bad part of town, so all he sees is kind of like this. I guess this corruption and this.
Oh, wait a
just a bunch
second.
of
You're
bad
talking
stuff.
about that classical movie. Sorry, not classical. Classic movie. The one with what's his name? Bink. Travis Bink or something like that.
I don't remember. I don't know that person.
I thought that was his name.
Oh, you mean the name of his character?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it is Travis. I don't remember it.
And it's in black and white.
It's not in black and white now.
I thought it was in black and white. That's weird.
At least not this. At least not this edition. I guess I was just watching the one off of Netflix.
You were seeing the colored edition.
Possibly. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. It's kind of, it's definitely an enthralling movie. I'm hoping to finish it tonight.
You know that movie and that other movie by Robert De Niro, the comedian, were supposed to be the works that inspired the Joker. That recent movie. Joker.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That's pretty interesting. I guess I kind of see the connection between Joker and this movie because this movie definitely has kind of a maladjusted young man, and I guess Joker, one of the factors or one of the premises of Joker is kind of like this maladapted man who has a mental illness.
Yeah, so I would say to complete that circle, if you like Robert De Niro, you should watch that other movie, The Comedian, where he's like a failed comedian and he looks up to his idol, Jerry Lewis, and it's very similar to those scenes in Joker where uh, the protagonist is like looking up to this comedian person.
Do you know who directed that movie?
No, I don't actually. Some people are beating up some people in town, but I'm gonna look this up.
Actually, that happens in Taxi Driver, so maybe
That's
you'll
true.
find something to relate.
Maybe the title of the movie's not The Comedian. Hold on a second. I'm sure this is riveting material for our viewers, but now I'm intrigued by the name of this movie. It was actually called The King of Comedy. That's what it was called, the KOC.
Mm-hmm.
So it was directed by Martin Scorsese.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So watch that. Watch Jerry Lewis because he's a very funny man. And let me know what you think about the connections there.
You know, I've been trying to kind of get more film culture in me because I just think that I would understand a lot of references better, along with kind of enjoying myself, like seeing some of the great movies for the first time, where you kind of always hear that stereotype. I kind of wish I could see Star Wars for the first time, or I wish I could see what Titanic for the first time. Is Titanic a good movie? I think so.
Well, I've seen it recently. I actually saw it, well, recently as in the past decade, but I think I saw it on the movies as a re-release back during those years where everyone was crazy about 3D. And so they, excuse me, re-released it in 3D for movie audiences.
Hmm. Yeah, I actually remember that brief period of time where I guess movies, I don't know, movie businesses, movie corporations, big film would release these old movies as 3D because I remember when I was in high school I watched The Empire, no, what was the first episode of Star Wars called?
The
It wasn't
Phantom
The
Menace?
Empire. Yeah, Phantom Menace. I remember seeing The Phantom Menace in 3D, and I kind of didn't really think about it, but later on I asked myself, why am I watching?
Like in the middle of the movie, you were watching it with some friends and you were like, hey, why am I watching this?
Yeah. I mean, I had never watched The Phantom Menace, but I don't know. I wasn't particularly sure why I was watching it in 3D.
Hold on a second, I need to fix my ear here. That's freaking cumbersome. Um, yeah, it was an interesting fad that happened during a couple of years. I remember that. I remember going to the theater with movie glasses, and some effects were interesting, but that certainly died down pretty quickly. I think in my mind it all started with the last Saw movie, Saw 7, aka Saw the Final Chapter, aka Saw 3D. Um, and then there was like for about a year and a half just a streak of movies released in 3D with 3D glasses. And then all of a sudden it just went away.
I think movies are still released in 3D, but I think what just shocked me the most is the fad where they were releasing movies that had already been released, but just in 3D.
But going back to the one of the side points here, yeah, Titanic, very good movie. You should watch it.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of movies, I believe it was last week that we talked about the Batman, and so far I've heard fairly positive reviews. But I think one of the things that it made me think about was just some of the interesting work that Robert Pattinson has been undertaking. And never mind Tenet because that's a discussion all on its own. I did like his work in The Lighthouse. Did you see The Lighthouse?
I did not know.
You should watch The Lighthouse, my friend. That is such a good movie. That one is in black and white. Yeah, it's him and I forget what's the name of the actor that plays the Green Goblin.
Willem Dafoe.
Yeah. So it's both him and Willem Dafoe, and essentially they're the only two actors in the movie. But Willem Dafoe is the lighthouse keeper. Robert Pattinson is this guy that comes to help him out, and it's essentially their slow descent into madness. It's very good.
Hey, that kind of sounds like a situation that we're in right now.
What are you trying to say?
I'm tagging along in your streams, and now this stream is our descent into madness.
Well, number one, you are absolutely right, but we are getting out of this rut, as one might say, once we can actually journey up, and I think it'll actually be enjoyable. And two, yeah, so The Lighthouse is a great movie.
I'm gonna do.
Alright, let's see if I can teleport here. One of the things that I don't understand is why exactly does teleporting across crystals cost money? Does the crystal just say, you know what, I understand the finances of your world. I request currency from your given people in order to teleport you?
That is an interesting observation. One that I don't have an answer to. I mean, it's certainly a lot quicker than in some other MMOs where you pay a person and then you kind of spend like 5 minutes flying around in some kind of eagle/lion hybrid.
Actually, I was just thinking about this. What is my favorite way of fast travel? And there is an old Super Nintendo game called Secret of Mana. Have you ever played that?
No, but I've heard of it.
Okay, well, in Secret of Mana, they've got a very fun way of fast travel. You go up to a cannoneer or a cannon person. You tell them where you want to go. They aim the cannon, and you are shot out of a cannon onto the other map. And as you are shot out, you are essentially doing like backflips or forward flips through a Mode 7 type map, and then you land on your location. And so that is the one believable way that I think fast travel works, just getting shot out of a cannon.
I can see that.
Okay, so I'm searching the Salt Strand for survivors. Wow, what is that? So you know how enemies in Final Fantasy XIV, right before they do an attack, they will show the area that they affect.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
How accurate are those hitboxes exactly?
They're pretty accurate.
Okay, because I feel like I step out of some of them, and then they don't act. I still get hit regardless.
I guess they're not like millimeter precision, but I guess if you still keep getting hit, you could just step aside.
Once again, John, your advice boils down to hey, get good.
Yeah, I don't know what to tell you.
Who is attacking here? Oh, I see. Here we go. The person I am looking for is called Fearless Mid. Okay, so I have to collect special items to continue the quest. What an interesting location. That's one item down.
So I guess going back to movies and films for a bit, I did want to say that I have been wanting to expand my knowledge of film culture, but I am always kind of apprehensive of watching older movies because I feel like I don't know why, but I have this kind of conception in my head where the further back in time I go, the higher the likelihood that the movie's going to be goofy and I wouldn't be able to take it seriously.
Are you suggesting that you wouldn't go ahead and just watch some delightful Citizen Kane, John? Is that
I've never actually watched Citizen Kane.
supposed to be the best movie of all time?
What do you think?
I've never seen it. I don't think that it would gel with me. It might, but I doubt it.
Do you not want to give it a chance?
I think that if I was in a group of like-minded peers that were interested in watching old movies, that would probably be something to suggest. But rest assured, I fostered no such group of friends that are willing to watch very old movies.
Okay.
But that's an interesting exercise. I think in terms of watching old movies, there are two very distinct approaches. One of them being able to enjoy the movie for what it is, and so if you can enjoy something and internalize the time in which it was made, you might be able to get something out of it. That's and I feel like that's something very personal and something that you actually have to work towards. But then the other aspect of watching a work like that is not necessarily being able to enjoy it, but more about being able to enjoy the craft of it and the limitations under which it was made, and the exercises that allowed it to exist, um, the strategies that were employed in order to make it be what it is for that particular time. Does that make sense?
That makes sense. Basically, just appreciating the way in which they were able to pull off the movie. They were able to make it. They were able to make it kind of entertaining for people at the time.
Yeah, one of the easiest examples to call to mind. I'm assuming you've seen Old Boy. You've seen Old Boy.
Yeah, I've seen it before.
So one of the scenes that everyone always recalls, among the many scenes that one can recall in that particular movie, is simply the long take on the hallway scene where he fights all of these individuals. And while the fight itself is nothing particularly fancy, I want to say it's a very average fight, where people do just take falls for the sake of taking falls. The craft of it is simply being able to pull it off all in one take, and I'm sure that it was rehearsed and practiced a number of times. It doesn't necessarily add anything new to the conversation, but once you think about the fact that it was one of the first times that it actually happened, and again, and the effort by every single person involved in that scene, it becomes far more enjoyable for that.
I see what you mean. I think that scene is definitely one of those things where it's like, it's made to cater to like the people who know, like the people. I don't want to say the people in the industry, but the people that are kind of know how that stuff works, know how like filming works, and know how difficult that is to pull off. It's not so much for us mortals, although a mortal can certainly learn about it and appreciate it. But I think that kind of stuff is more for like the people who do filming and stuff. It's like, look at this technically amazing piece of cinematography.
Yeah, I think it's more of an academic exercise, and so I certainly admire people that can do that. I can do that sometimes. I can't do that every time.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, any particular movies that you might be revisiting under those pretenses?
Well, revisiting, no, I'm not really thinking about watching a movie for the first or for the second time. Um, I guess kind of some movies that I was thinking about watching. Let me think. So have you ever watched Leon the Professional?
Yeah, I have.
So
Something
that's
of
not
a
a,
problematic movie, but yeah, that's an interesting watch.
I haven't watched it before, but and that's not a movie that I think is gonna be goofy, but it is one that I'm thinking about watching that's kind of older.
Yeah, I would say it's certainly good to watch a first time. One of Natalie Portman's earliest performances, as well as what's the name of that Frenchman? Um, my mind immediately goes to Jean-Luc something. Okay.
Is it Jean-Luc Polnareff?
No, it's Jean Reno.
No, gotcha.
Funny how the first thing that comes to mind when I think of this particular actor is his role in the American version of Godzilla.
Hmm.
That's a lot of fish.
there's any movies that I might consider rewatching, it might be the Christopher Nolan Batman trilogy because I barely remember most of it.
I think it's funny to consider the fact that these are older movies now, and yet they are, for all intents and purposes, the Batman movies that have stayed in the cultural zeitgeist this entire time.
Yep. It's kind of the one that everyone's using to compare the new Batman movie to.
Yeah. On that note, sidebar, I often find it funny that I hear about these articles. Every single time you have a new Batman iteration, you have some sort of side articles about what the person playing the Joker is up to, in the sense that apparently ever since Heath Ledger, anyone who plays the Joker has to be disturbed in some way while they are playing the Joker. Um, and so, obviously, I'm pretty sure I saw a few articles about Joaquin Phoenix, and I saw a few articles about Jared Leto. I know this new Batman has a Joker, even though I think they're a proto Joker, but no doubt we'll see a stream of articles about how this person was disturbed in some way. Um, but yeah, the Christopher Nolan Batmans. They are certainly my favorite Batmans, but they are not my Batmans. Batman.
What do you mean by that?
I guess when I think about Batman, and specifically my favorite Batman movie, it is difficult not to suggest that it's The Dark Knight, but it is actually Batman Returns.
Ah, I see.
The not Paul Schumacher, what's his name? Tim Burton Batman movies, specifically the second one. Have you ever
Hmm.
seen that? Maybe with some
Maybe
family.
one of them. Maybe one of them a very, very long time ago that
You
I
know,
don't
Batman
remember.
Returns is a Christmas movie, John. You should watch it during Christmas time.
I guess so. Is that the one with Seal's Kissed by a Rose?
No. Jeez. No, of course not. That one's Batman Forever.
Did Tim Burton direct that one?
No. That one is funny. I won't like if somebody offers to show Batman Forever and chat and you know hang out, I will always say 100% yes. It's certainly not a piece of art, but it is very entertaining. Um, but yes, I am willing to watch Batman Returns as just like a purely didactic exercise because it's so good.
So many Batman movies, yet so little Superman movies. I think we actually touched on this a little bit in your previous streams.
Yeah, so stay tuned for our Superman talk in our previous stream where we discussed the difficulties with portraying Superman in the modern age. That being said, though, John, I am going to get a refresher, so I will be right back.
Okay.
I will just go ahead and cut desktop audio just for that. Alright, and we are back. And I decided to go with a Hazy Double IPA. I believe I've drank this on stream before. It's an almanac. Loud! Exclamation mark. Hazy Double IPA. So, Hazy IPAs, as avid viewers of the stream might remember, are like IPAs except not terrible. They hide the bitterness of the hops they're in with tropical flavors. Got a bit more of a robust body, and certainly tropical in their flavors. Things like pineapple, mango sometimes come to mind. A very delicious kind of drink. If I can finish pouring this. What level are you in at this juncture, John?
I think I'm 16.
Jeez. So, how do you know when you will be, when we will be coalescing our journeys?
I'm not sure exactly, but it's pretty soon. The main story quest just has to be around level 15.
Alright, well, I'm at 14, so hopefully soon. Whatever the case, fang and ale. I wonder if I'll know simply from leaving this particular part of the world. Confront the suspicious individuals. Some fireflies here. Okay. Just encounter a disreputable pirate. On that note, I've actually been catching One Piece recently.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, everyone's favorite shonen anime. Right before the time skip, so maybe I'll be able to actually catch up one day. Oh, that was simple. Yeah, actually, I've started watching some anime again recently. So, in addition to One Piece, I'm watching JoJo's 4 again with one of my peers. Very good show. I think that is still either my first or second favorite JoJo's.
Oh, did you actually finish JoJo 5?
No, I never finished it. I for some reason dropped out. But because that show has about 3 episodes of like recalls, I'm sure that I can just watch one of those and jump back in. I remember that the last thing I saw in JoJo's 5 was when we encountered what's the name of the French guy with the tall hair?
Polnareff,
Yeah, Polnareff.
my favorite character.
Your favorite character?
Mm-hmm.
Wait, what about Kakwion? um, Quack. Uh, you know what I'm talking about.
Quackleon?
Quackwion.
Kakyoin?
Kakwion.
I mean, I think he's okay, but I always liked Polnareff better.
No, I don't know about that. I don't like Polnareff. Class quest rewards. There are some actions which only can be learned by completing specific class quests. For example, the ranged lancer weapon skill. Okay. I don't know what that means. And then I also started watching the Junji Ito collection. Have you heard about that?
Yeah, I heard that it was airing in Adult Swim for a while.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. You know, I've seen bits and pieces of Junji Ito's manga collection, and I think they are creepy as all f, and that's fine. I don't know that it's the same effect on anime though.
Mhm.
I think something is lost there. But I will finish it up, see what that's all about. Um, and then I did start a new isekai because you know everyone loves isekais these days. It's called "Do You Love Your Mom and Her Two-Hit Multi-Target Something or Other." And the premise of this show is that this guy just randomly gets transported into a fantasy world because, of course. But then he just so happens to be accompanied by his mom, and so hijinks ensue.
I see.
Might be a bit more saucy than I expected by the premise, but we will see where it leads.
I think the longer the title of the anime, the saucier it is.
Yeah. Victory in peril. Speak with either at the front gate or rear gate. All of these doors are locked, even though I'm supposed to find a quest person somewhere around here.
I think one thing that I enjoy about Final Fantasy XIV is that it can teach me new words in English that I didn't know before, like acquiesce.
Did you just learn that word?
Not just now, but ever since I heard it. Uh, it was the first time that I heard it in Final Fantasy XIV.
Have you been using it in common speak?
It'd be a little strange to use it in common speech.
I'm fairly certain that I've used acquiesce for relatively recently. Jeez, all of these doors are blocked. What's the deal here? Maybe it's outside castle gates. Ah, there we go. Finally found this target. Jeez. Right, found the shifty-eyed sailor. Okay, here we go. Delicious. Looks like I'm going into an instanced battle. I'm sure every one of the enemies will rush into me while I'm standing there and try to cast spells.
That sounds about right.
That's not where I'm supposed to go. What? Right, another one bites the dust. I still don't quite understand what. Just defeat pirates. I'm supposed to find pirates in this closed corridor.
If I do stick with the paladin or really any kind of tank class, I am kind of curious how the later quests will be, because the later quests, you have to do these dungeons, but you also have to learn a little bit of mechanics. I kind of like the way that the quests, or the main story quests, are structured, because the way that you also do instance dungeons, it kind of also teaches you how to play your class. So it's gonna be interesting if I do end up doing tanking stuff, because I've never done it in this game before.
That sounds cool. Um, Potential for you to learn something new, I guess. I'm assuming, what do you generally play, DPS or something?
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
Because it's fun.
Jeez. Some rupees. That makes things go faster here. I am here fighting with an archer, and it seems like he's got a very generous health pool, because it's been a few minutes.
Are you sure that you're supposed to be fighting him? Because sometimes in those instance kind of quests, sometimes the characters are telling you, hey, you need to go touch this thing, or hey, you need to go kill that guy. And sometimes I'm kind of guilty of ignoring that.
Oh, I think what's happening here, this character is a heavy, and he's got a healer right behind him. That's why this is taking so freaking long.
I see.
And they are down. Ah, finally. close to finishing this quest. Some more talking. We all dislike this pirate that looks like George Washington. My Falafel took out his book in a very menacing fashion.
I'll be back in like 5 minutes.
Okay. That took a while. I wonder if that was the best way to approach this. Ah, the rain. Nice. What's this guy got to say? Beautiful. Alright, I think that's think we're gonna start wrapping up here. I think that's good progress. Made it all the way to 15. What's next over here? Topaz Teachings. Man of the Blue. So I guess travel back. One of these lifts. Hey, there we go. Excellent, made it all the way to level 16. Sweet 16, as they say. Sure, why not? Serpent Reavers. Western Lanasia. I don't know that I've actually been there before. This guy. Unfortunately, I think that's where we're gonna have to end it. With John absent, but it is what must be done. So thank you, kind viewers, for joining me for the Ales and Fails Twitch stream. Tune in next time, that being tomorrow. Maybe we'll continue that Hades run, maybe not. And we'll probably do some Monster Hunter Rise. All that being said, stay safe and stay thirsty, Wolfkin. See you again.